Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
Welcome to week 3. I am your facilitator for the day. My name is Paige. I am going to share my screen for you guys. So let's make sure that this works out. Let me share. Okay. Looks like it's working. Computer's just taking a little second to start the actual PowerPoint. There we go. Can everybody see that? Perfect. All right, and I see we've got muted mics. Amazing. People paying attention from last time. All right, so our topic for today is astrology. So I'm just going to go over a quick agenda and then get us into our icebreaker. So we're going to do our icebreaker to start things off. You guys are familiar with our last couple of groups where we do a little icebreaker just to kind of get us moving and going. And then I'm going to go over the norms and ground rules just as a friendly reminder. And we're going to have an extra piece today. I'm going to ask everyone to just pay close attention to verbal and nonverbal communication behaviors, whether it's your own that you're sharing today in this meeting or that of other group members, just to kind of pay a little bit of attention to that. And we are going to debrief on that at the end of this meeting. So, icebreaker for today, share your birthday and, oh, whoopsies, there we go. Share your birthday and your astrological sign if you know it, and any interesting facts about your entrance into this world. And I do understand that that might be a sensitive topic for some or something that maybe not everyone wants to discuss. So if you don't want to talk about any interesting facts about your entrance into the world, that's fine. Maybe just mention something that you did on your most recent birthday. So I'll start it off. My birthday is September 1st. It was actually just last week, and I am a Virgo. And an interesting fact about my entrance into the world, according to my mother, my birth took almost a full 3 days. So I don't envy her in that aspect. So I'm just going to go to down the line of who I see on my screen. So I am going to turn it over to Joy.
okay. My birthday is March 24th. I am an Aries. Vedic, I'm a Pisces, which I don't feel like. My birth is pretty interesting. I came rather fast and rather early. I was the second born. My mother had just read an article that nurses were wrapping women's legs together to prevent them from having their babies before the doctor got there. And she kicked them, and the doctor came in, sat down, didn't even get his jacket off, and I hit his chest. So I was very fast, and she wouldn't let the nurses, because babies were dying that way. She would not let that happen. So that's the only reason I'm probably here.
Wow. Okay, that is a very interesting birth story, Joy. I knew we would have some interesting chairs. Um, Sam.
okay, so my birthday is April 21st. I'm a Taurus. Um, the interesting fact about my entrance into the world. Honestly, I don't think I really know much about like being born. I've never really asked my mom or dad about it. Um, So, I mean, that's a good thing that I can actually ask them now. Um, but I mean, I don't have an interesting fact. Um,
Ooh, what about what you did for your last birthday?
okay, last birthday, I turned 34 and we went to it was kind of work, but we went to a Luke Combs concert. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something fun and exciting.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing, Sam. I'm going to turn it over to Morgan.
All right. My birthday is May 25th. I am a Gemini. I always get scared when I share that because people are like, I hate Geminis. So I'm like, please don't hate me. I swear, we're not bad. Um, my interesting fact about my entrance into the world. I don't know. My mom normalized my birth, I guess. But I can give you an interesting fact about my own kiddo. So, my first child, I was only in labor for like 6 hours and she was born within 40 minutes, which is unusual, which is odd. She was quick, in and out. So, yeah. So that's all I got.
I bet you liked that.
Oh, I loved it. My second one not so much. So,
Didn't look exactly like the first. Well, thank you for sharing, Morgan. And Natalie.
My birthday is January 4th, so I'm a Capricorn. An interesting fact about my entrance into the world is so I was born in the year 2000, and my mom was like freaking out about like Y2K, and she thought like the world was gonna end. So there was a lot of like chaos surrounding my birth, like leading up to it. But everything ended up being okay. So
That makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense for being the year 2000. Um, Also very interesting. I could imagine that if I was having a baby that year, yeah, I would have been panicking too with the unknown. All right, so thanks everyone for sharing for our icebreaker. I know that we've already discussed this a few times, but just want to give a reminder if the slide will change for me. There we go. About the norms and ground rules of group. Just being present, making sure that there aren't any distractions before we dive in to our discussion, making sure that you're focused, respecting everyone's voice, and giving equal opportunity for sharing, practicing active listening. So that's going to be something that we also kind of touch base on at the end of this meeting on what everyone's active listening skills kind of look like. And of course, keeping it confidential and ethical. Everything that happens here stays here. And let's ensure that our conversation remains professional, ethical, and respectful. Speak from your own experience and respect the opinions of others and realize that they are coming from their own experience. And then finally, today, a little bit different from other groups that we've had, I want you to just notice and pay attention to those verbal and nonverbal communication behaviors of your own and of your peers, and we'll kind of chat about those at the end. All right, so diving into astrology and astrological signs. So I'm not sure how much everyone knows about astrology, and I am by no means an expert on the subject either. So we're just going to kind of have a collaborative discussion around astrology and the signs. So there's actually three different aspects of your astrological signs. There's your sun sign, which people associate that with your core identity, um, who you are to yourself, to your friends, to family. That is your main astrological sign that usually everyone is familiar with. Then you also have a moon sign, which they say that that is more your inner self, who you are internally, that you might not necessarily share with others. That is more your processing of emotions, and what you need internally. And then there's a rising sign where this is kind of what you project towards others as your outward appearance. This is when you are hiding that moon sign inner self and kind of putting that guard up. You're displaying that rising sign or that outward appearance. And every piece of your astrological sign, whether it's your sun, moon, or rising, is going to be based on your birth date, the time you were born, and the place that you were born. Okay, and then all of the signs are associated with the elements as well. So there are 12 astrological signs that are associated with not there. So that you'll notice here with the dates that they're not directly tied to the months, for example. So we can't say that all of Aries is April. It is actually correlating to a moon phase that goes from those particular dates that are under your sign. So the elements that your sign might include is fire, air, earth, or water. And then I did just include just a little blip about what people traditionally associate with each of the elements. So, for example, fire signs are associated with passion and being very energetic, bold, action oriented people, big personalities. Whereas earth signs, I would say, is kind of the other side of the coin, where they're associated with more grounded, practical, reliable, analytical mindsets and characteristics. Oh, whoops. So just take a moment to kind of take note of your sign on here and the element that it's associated with, whether it's fire, air, earth, or water, and the little blip that it shares about your individual sign. And I just wanted to take a moment to kind of chat about these signs and kind of what this means to you and whether your astrological sign and its description of your overall personality, whether you agree with that or feel like it resonates with you. I can kind of start us off. So I am a Virgo, and that is associated with the earth element that says that I'm grounded and practical and reliable. I do agree with that. I tend to agree with the descriptions that are associated with my astrological sign. Um, so let's kind of hear what you guys think. If I guess if you agree with the descriptions that you've heard about your astrological sign. And the first person on my screen is Natalie.
Okay. So I'm also an earth sign. And I would agree with you. I feel like it is pretty valid to how I view myself. Um, I've also like looked up like horoscopes and stuff like that before with my sign. So like I'm kind of like into all of this stuff. And it seems pretty accurate to me. So I don't know if it's just me, but
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I agree with mine. Sam, what do you think?
So I'm also fall under the category of earth sign, because I'm a Taurus. Um, so yeah, I mean, I agree to a point, but I think that I need to fall more under a water sign. Because all of those underwater signs is exactly how I am. I'm definitely an emotional person, sensitive, um, caring, and I'm always like just helping people. So I think I'm definitely more of a water sign. But I mean, I guess I could go with the earth sign. It makes sense too.
I'm wondering if your moon sign is a water sign.
Ooh, I
That's
mean,
your
you gave me some homework now because I didn't know about the other signs. So I'm interested now.
Yes, you'll have to
That's
look into
awesome.
that. I wonder if that is your moon sign. That might be your emotional kind of inner aspect of yourself. I almost want to put money on it. I bet you it's a water sign.
Okay. I'll follow up with you next time.
Okay. Morgan.
So I'm an air sign. I always felt like I was an air sign, go with the flowy type of people. But I really resonate with being curious and social and communicative. And just to be humble, I can be intellectual sometimes. So it just depends on the day. But I do know that I have a Capricorn moon, so I'm grounded, practical with my emotions. So it's the one thing. Then I got a fire sign for my rising, so I'm all sorts of mixed up.
a
So,
a big mix of personalities.
yes, I have a Sagittarius. That's what my rising is. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, I love that you know all three. Very nice. Very cool. Thanks for sharing, Morgan. And last but not least, Joy.
I have to agree, but I the only element I don't have in my chart is air. But I am surrounded by air people. My
Mm,
brother's was an Aquarius. My dad and my daughter are Libras. My ex-mother-in-law is a Gemini, but I've had a lot of Gemini friends. I tend to gravitate toward those type of people. My sun and rising is Aries, and my moon is Virgo.
oh, very
I have a
interesting,
lot of
Joy.
Virgo. Yeah, and I have Cancer too, a lot of Cancer and Taurus in my chart.
Very
Yeah,
cool. Lots of just different aspects
yeah.
to your personality as well. Okay. Um, so I also just wanted to kind of actually I can probably get out of this at this point. I'll stop sharing my screen. Um, and just in the interest of time, I just kind of wanted to go around quick too and have an open discussion. I won't call on anyone. Whoever wants to just hop in. What are some, just thinking of astrological signs, I feel like personally I've had some experience with individuals where maybe I was judged or laughed at almost when sharing aspects of astrology. So I'm just curious if anyone here has had any negative experiences or can just think of some stereotypes that kind of come out with individuals that are about the stars and astrology, and just what they've maybe experienced.
I have a quick story. So I have a coworker of mine. Um, she is all about astrology. Like her office is full of I, I can't just everything like astrology related. And she will anytime so she is our receptionist at work. And anytime someone comes off the elevator, she will be like, "Come here. I have this energy. I know that this is probably what you are." And she'll just like talk to people and she will talk all about it. But people look at her sometimes, and I say this in a nice way. But they look at her and they're like, "Is everything okay with her? Like that she seems like a crazy lady." Because she is so passionate about it and she'll talk and she'll go into signs and feelings and she'll do a lot of that. But I've heard it more than once um from other people. So uh yeah, I mean that's an experience that I have.
Thanks for sharing that, Sam. I can actually retell a similar experience that I've actually had with someone in my life that was, I think a lot of people were very intimidated by her and her energy. It sounds very similar to the person that you were describing, just in their over obsession with astrology and kind of attributing that to every aspect of their life and why they are the way that they are. So I can definitely see why some individuals would think, "Oh, that's a crazy lady." But I could also see her perspective and that being something that she has strong beliefs around and wants to share that knowledge that she's passionate about with other people.
Yeah, absolutely. She does. She's very passionate about it.
Yeah. Um, Maybe just one more person want to share anything? We can jump ahead. We don't have to. So, in the interest of time, anyway, we only have like one more minute left. So, I just want to debrief let's just take a moment and share kind of what did you all notice about the nonverbals and the verbals, just in terms of our communicative behavior as a group. Can everybody just kind of say one thing that they noticed and if they felt that it was maybe helpful or not helpful to the conversation?
I noticed that both Sam and I reacted to a birth story.
Yep. So there was some mutual shock. Hmm.
I noticed that like people are like nodding their heads and like paying attention, like actively listening. You can tell everyone's engaged in the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I noticed. I felt like everyone was listening to me.
I
Perfect.
noticed people moving closer to the screen to see their birth chart to read it. So that's how I really knew they were into it because we were moving closer to read it.
I like that. I appreciate that.
I just noticed my own facial expressions. I wear my emotions on my face, so sometimes it's kind of hard. But I definitely do that. So I have been noticing like if you say something, I'm like
What's going on?
I'm definitely gonna be more aware of that now though.
Yeah, yeah, I was noticing that too, Sam. Actually, I was paying a lot of attention to my own expressions, and I almost laugh at myself internally with, with the way that I keep my face sometimes. Sometimes I can't hide what I'm feeling. Well, thank you, everyone. We are just coming up to that moment where we got to end our meeting. But this was great. Everyone did a great job of giving everyone equal space to speak and stayed on task. And just for our next meeting, we're going to meet next week and we're going to do part 2 of everything you would love to know about astrology. Thanks, everyone.